What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage, and I'm here with the other host of the show, Daryl Smock Jr. Daryl, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing better. I'm doing better now, man. I was trying to, well, for those that are not aware, this is the show that we record on Fridays with our members. It's called Weekly Checkup. We record it with our members and it goes live on Sundays for the public. So we recorded on Friday, and Friday you would have already seen this fantastic rant video that I got about that Amazon rumor that was hilarious about EA being bought by Amazon. Well, somehow in the ethos, people tried to connect that. They tried to use that as a means to beat down Stadia. Everything is a means to beat down Stadia. So I had to respond to it. Little production value to it.
When you're the top dog.
Yeah.
You're the top dog. You know, people got to try to bring you down.
Preach. Yep. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, we look at recent stats. I mean, it's not blowing out the competition, but I think Stadia is a top dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's in every single cloud discussion. Every single cloud discussion.
You can't mention cloud gaming without mentioning Stadia.
Exactly.
You can't.
Yeah. Like, look, here's the thing. And to prove our points, Smock, even when it's something about someone else doing good. Yeah, so-and-so got 20 million. I wonder how many Google Stadia got. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is in relation to Stadia. Even this Amazon rumor, Amazon buying EA, we're gonna get into it. It automatically turned into, well, who's Stadia gonna buy? You know what I'm saying? Not who xCloud is gonna buy, not who Shadow, not who PS Now. It's who Stadia gonna buy. Like, you know, not right. Boosteroid. Like,
I do want them to buy a studio. I'm not gonna lie. If Stadia, if Stadia buys a studio, it has to be Ubisoft. It has to.
I would want Google.
Like, I don't see that would.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. What you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because Ubisoft right now, they're the one company that's all in on cloud gaming. You know, and a lot of Stadia's and Ubisoft, a lot of their goals are in alignment with each other already. So to me, that makes the most sense. If there was to buy anybody, it would be them. I would want them to buy them. And it's possible because Ubisoft is looking to potentially have somebody buy them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he said. Ubisoft has extended their availability more than they ever have. I'm gonna say this though. I don't want Stadia to buy it. I want Google to buy it. I think that's the smart thing about what Amazon is doing. That,
you know what, that would be good too, because that means they'll have control, because Ubisoft's entertainment side for the TV shows, because they're coming out with TV shows now. They're partnering with Netflix and all that stuff to bring out shows to Netflix. So that makes sense.
I would love to have Google buy it, and let them run autonomously, like how Bethesda's run autonomously at Microsoft. I would let them buy it. I think what Google may want to do long term, and I know a lot of people debate me about this and say this isn't Google's way. Well, the landscape is changing, so I think it's time for them to, you know, maybe take a look at changing some things to acclimate themselves in their brand, in the way that they do things, into this gaming, this gaming plateau that we're getting on. Like, it's no wonder that Westworld, if you guys watched this past season of Westworld, I don't know if you saw it, Smock.
I'm on season 4. I'm on season 4.
Yeah, if you watched it, I'm gonna get no spoilers, but there's a lot of video game references in Westworld this season. Even like what one of the main characters are doing, like instead of doing production for TV shows, It's all games. There's no more production for TV shows. The number one, the main way of entertainment is now games. Everything is interactive, right? In Westworld.
The way the show is going, that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, wait till you see. Oh my, it gets crazy. But again, and I think that's indicative. I think that's a smart look forward into the future, to where you got this multiverse talk and all these things that are going on. Like, the main way, I mean, you have a generation now to where everybody is familiar with games and playing games. So instead of just basically just sitting there, you might watch sports, right? You know, you might watch sports or whatever, but as far as like scripted TV, you go into the future, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever years from now, everything might be interactive, where you design the narrative. They just give you the characters. So because of that, I think Google will want to, get a strong portfolio together at some point of people that are good on the game side. You know what I mean? And maybe, I don't know who's available to help run it, but I would have somebody like Jack Buser, even though I know he's the head of the cloud, or even, what's the guys that used to be at Sony PlayStation? Oh my God. What is Sony PlayStation's old boss's name?
Yeah, that was listen, that's out of my element.
Jeez, oh, I can't believe I forgot his name. He does some type of like consulting work. Jack something, I think it is. There's also Peter Moore. I know he's at Unity now, I think, but if you can get Peter Moore and have him run your game division alongside with some entertainment people, oh my God. And I think getting a studio like Ubisoft, who's doing something like this Ubisoft Originals, right, Smock? I think they'd be a great get. You know what I mean? So just my thoughts, just my thoughts. But yeah, man, we got a lot on the docket. We got Saints Row impressions, Dead Island 2 announcement. And for the cloud news, we got GFN surpasses 20 million users. And then we also got, will PS5 price hike boost cloud gaming to mainstream? I kind of wrote my answer down so I wouldn't forget all my particulars. I'm curious on what Smock's thoughts are. And if we have time, we're going to do game vibes, where we ask each other the game that you're enjoying the most now on Stadia, what game has disappointed you the most recently, and what recently announced game do you want to see come to the platform. But let's start with Saints Row. And you know how we do. Let me show you something. There we go. It actually worked. All right, this is StadiaDosage.com. Where you can get all of the latest and greatest Stadia news. I'm gonna have to. We got so many daggone articles over here, and I'm gonna put that chat back up for you. But Saints Row goes live on Stadia, so it's available. It's live. Smock, what are your thoughts on Saints Row?
So far I am enjoying the game. I've only played about an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours, of the game, just to get my first episode of my playthrough out. I'm going to be going live. It's going to be at night. It's going to be after hours. I'm going to do an after hours stream. I'm going to be going live again, recording the episode 2 pretty soon. I don't know exactly what day yet. It's going to be random. But I played it only on performance mode so far. I haven't touched the visual mode. But so far I'm having a lot of fun. The game is a little buggy. I haven't seen too much of it on Stadia right now. I know there's a couple things that threw me off about the game. Like the controls are like when I'm trying to pan the camera, like I don't like how you have to like manually move the camera when you're driving. I don't like that part of it. But man, that's the only thing he wants to talk about is Saints Row is a woke mess. That's the only thing he's commented. The whole time he's been in here, he's made 2 comments, and they're both the same one. But so far, overall, I'm really enjoying the game. The game is fun. The controls, they can work on the controls a little bit. They can work out some of the bugs. But overall, I'm enjoying the story. The story is good. One other thing that's unfortunate about the game. Hopefully they could update it. Is the sound of the cars, the vehicle sounds. It's they're not good. Like you could tell the difference when you do a cutscene. When you look at the cutscene, watch the cutscene, it has vehicles in it. It sounds fine, but when it goes back to you driving around in a car, the cars don't sound good. None of them sound good. Oh, wow. So that's unfortunate about the game. So Jesus. I don't know. And this is everywhere. This isn't a Stadia issue. Yeah. This isn't specific. This issue is across all these issues that I'm saying, or is across the board for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Stadia, wherever it's available. These issues are across the board, But even though the performance mode don't look the best, it is smooth. I will say that the performance mode is smooth. So they got that. They got the performance side down.
Yeah. I put about, and there, you can go check them out here in the members section, and you can also check them out on StadiaDosage streams. Don't forget, it's over there on StadiaDosage streams. We got some great streams over there. So my thoughts, I'm gonna break it down in two parts. First the game, and then the Stadia version. When it comes down to the game, I gotta disagree with Aminor. Saints Row hasn't been destroyed on every professional user review. I don't consider a lot of these people professional. You know what I'm saying? They're not professionals. Like Destructoid, who is known to be, no nonsense on reviews. I tend to kind of, I don't want to say kind of, but more likely than not, when it comes to mainstream publication side with them on reviews, they gave it an 8. And I think what it is that they didn't overshoot the moon on what it is. It's silly, nonsensical, side-splitting, just brainless mayhem. That's it. That's all Saints Row is. It's not Elden Ring. It's not God of War Ragnarok. I've seen some of these quote-unquote professionals say some of the stupidest stuff like, I can't relate to any of these characters. Like this is Ghost of Tsushima or something like that. No, this is not that type of game. This is the thing that's paramount in games like this are the level design, the shooting, you know what I'm saying? The enemy engagement, the AI, stuff like that, and the missions. And if you are knocking that stuff, then and what you're saying is correct, or accurate, then I can get you. You know what I mean? But if you're sitting there telling me that you can't relate to the characters or the story isn't great, like Plague's Tale or something, if you're talking to me, then you are seriously disconnected from the diversity of gaming, and you need to stop. And I don't, those are not professionals to me. I've been gaming for over 35 plus years, and I've never seen the bullpucky that I'm seeing now. I'm enjoying the game. Like for instance, I did a side mission where I had to take out these snitches. I had a lot of fun doing it. I had to chase them down in cop cars.
The bounty hunts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the bounty hunter. Yeah, I had to take out the snitches. You know what I'm saying? I had fun doing it. It was like, okay, cool. This is what I expect from a Saints Row type game. I'm not saying it's a 10 or 9 or whatever, but we have a habit, Smock, or not we, because I don't want to mix everybody together. Gamers have a habit of getting off of a high from an excellent game. We did this in 2018. 2018, we had God of War, and the God of War reboot, and then we had Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think it was. And those were 2 great games. Storytelling, you know what I'm saying? Phenomenal games. Right. And we came off of that high, and then games like Rage 2 and what's the motorcycle game for PlayStation? The motorcycle game for PlayStation with the zombies.
Yeah, I don't. It's not ringing a bell.
Oh gosh. I can't believe. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the stuff. But then you had that PlayStation exclusive, and again with the and I played both of those games. The PlayStation exclusive game that I'm talking about got a 7, and it was getting lambasted in the reviews. Rage 2 got rated a 6. And I can tell you, Rage 2 may not be the best shooter ever, but that's a hell of a game. It's a hell of a lot better than Rage 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it got rated a 6. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And what it is that everybody was coming down off their high of Spider-Man, God of War, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So Rage 2 and the other game that I'm talking about, I can't believe I can't remember it. They got the brunt end of the deal. And I think the same thing is happening here. Everybody's coming off their high of Elden Ring, and now they're talking about engaging characters and stories in Saints Row, for crying out loud. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's the
people.
Go ahead.
So I was about to say, yeah, gamers. It's the community. The majority of communities they feed off of other people's opinions. You know, not a lot of people think for themselves. Like before, gamers, before they even try a game, they want to read a review or watch somebody. Watch a review about it before they make their purchase. Instead of like going out trying a demo, how it's supposed to be done and try it for themselves. A lot of people just they're just a bunch of sheep. They just follow other people's leads, and it leads them to everybody thinking the same way about a game. It's it's sad. So. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, it's unfortunate that people are this disengaged, and people are this they lack the mental capacity to think for themselves. So hey, it's their loss, man.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm gonna fix the chat for you in a second. I just gotta do something because I want to get these comments in here. Yeah, I totally agree with you, bro. Like, that's the problem. Like, to me, it's silly to go look for reviews before you buy a game. I'm sorry. I mean, I may go look at reviews out of curiosity to see if a game is going to see success or not. You know what I'm saying? But I don't look at reviews to determine. That's like me making a sandwich and then like, ooh, I really can't wait till I try this sandwich. And then me giving it to Smock first and having them bite into it and say, Smock, what do you think? And if Smock says, well, I don't like it, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I don't want the sandwich anymore. I'm sitting there thinking about the sandwich all day. I'm starving at work. I busted my ass. I'm sweating coming home, starving, stomach growling. Smock happens to be there. I give him the bite of the sandwich first. He's like, oh, well, I don't really care for it. So now I don't need it. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
I don't get it.
That's not how it's supposed to operate. Humans aren't supposed to operate based on what other humans are thinking.
Yeah. Yes. But it's that herd mentality. I've always argued against it. It's the herd mentality, wanting to belong. I hate to say it. People don't like it when I say it, but it's that idiot herd mentality. And you got to think about it. If something was exciting you, if you're on the fence about something, your cash is running low, you're somewhat interested, but it really wouldn't make a big deal to you if you got it or not. You're really on the fence. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, well, let me try to get some suggestions. Then I would understand that. And what you don't want to do is go get a aggregate of scores, because the way Metacritic works, someone that completely disagrees with your thought process on games, their scores could be weighted higher than somebody that does it. Like everything isn't divided evenly. Like US gamers scores are rated higher than StadiaDosage. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to take that into consideration. And what I would do is, if you're on the fence about something, is go to one hub that you find that when their reviews come out on games that you've already played, more likely than not, you've already agreed with them. Then you were like, oh, okay, well, if Giant Bomb says that it's a 7.5 and that's all I expect, I just want something to play right now, and you know, then I'm cool with, I'm gonna go get it. You know, if you're on the fence. But if it's something that you were jumping out of your shoes and socks to get, just because someone down the street that you've never met, you've never had a conversation with them before, so they don't know what you like, told you not to get it, and you listen to them. I don't know, Smart.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people like individuality. You know, they don't have the capacity to think for themselves. A lot of people just what other people think, you know. They're like, man, you know, I guess since the majority is saying that this game is a bad game, it's the worst game they ever created, you know, it must be true because a lot of people are saying it, like, you know. So hey, like I said, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate for them. I feel sorry for the people that can't think for themselves, you know? Like I really miss the days where when Game Informer was really relevant, you know, those days where you would get the magazine, you know, and then you read up on a quick synopsis of the games that are coming out, you know, and they're like, you know, they're just it was unbiased. Like that whole thing was unbiased, you know. Yeah. It was just a quick games, you know, they gave it like a little rating and things like that, and then we would go out and buy the game, you feel me? Like now it's like, bro, people are giving these individual people way too much weight or way too much credit on their opinions on these games.
And you know what I used to like, Smart, back in the day, even if you didn't agree with a certain reviewer or not, like people were experts in certain genres, and that's who reviewed the game. Like the sports gamer reviewed the sports games. The shoot 'em up gamer reviewed the shoot 'em up games. The Call of Duty gamer, you know, like you realize that the reviewer pretty much was part of that target demo for that game. So you're not going to have someone that, like for me, for instance, I don't play hockey games. So let's just say IGN's like, MM2K, we ain't got no one else, you know, to write for this hockey review for the weekend. Everybody's on vacation. It's your job, you know. You're gonna write IGN's opinion on this hockey game. You know what I mean? And I give it like 3 out of 10, and everyone's like, "What the hell? You know, what's going on? You crazy guy?" That's where we're at now. To where the hockey guy, the guy that plays hockey games, that knows what to look for, what not to look for that target demo. I guess what I'm trying to say, Smock, is every game isn't for everybody, and that's okay. So you just can't have anybody's opinion about a game, just paint a broad brush for if everybody's going to like it or not. To me, that's absurd. So.
Yep. You know, and to comment to I Can't See. Yeah. I watched G4 too. X-Play. I used to watch that too.
Yeah.
On G4.
I did.
I used to do all that. I had the magazines because my brother had the subscriptions. I used to watch that on cable TV. Man, listen, the back those days were the good days, you know. Yeah. Those days were the good days.
Those were the days.
Because a lot of people were unbiased. A lot of games were just good games, you know. Now it's like everybody has an opinion on everything, you know. Like an example is me, you know. I love racing games, right? And I grew up playing racing games, but you would never see me review a motocross game, you know, like that motocross game that's on Stadia. That's the hardest game I've ever played. That's the hardest game I've ever played. I can't do it, you know. I don't know. It's kind of funny now that I'm talking about it. The game, I swear, I'll put that game on very easy, bro. These computers was hella good. They was going hella. They wasn't making no mistakes. They was all fast. I'm like, yeah, this game ain't for me. So I wouldn't. I'm not about to review a game that I'm not good at. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense.
Dude,
Dead Island 2. I don't know much about that game.
So Geek to Sneak says, he says, I'm putting it out there right now. I'm picking up Dead Island 2 on Stadia. Okay, well, okay. So this is where I might lose, and again, I'm not trying to be overly critical, but this is where I might lose some Stadia points. Okay. But hear me out, bear with me. So the second part of my thoughts on Saints Row 2 is the output. I mean, and it's no secret, we had a hell of a show last week, thanks to Geek to Sneak. If you missed it, go check it out, where we were talking about how things look on Stadia and how well they look and all other stuff. And I always like to, I like to beat the drum with Division 2 as my example. Okay, you can't talk me down about Division 2 on Stadia, but I'm a realist, and I realize that everything ain't Division 2 on Stadia. So when I first started Saints Row, now keep in mind, with the caveat, let me precursor with this, is that this game seems to be poorly optimized everywhere. Would you agree with that assessment, Smock? Or?
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Okay, so
that's definitely true.
With that caveat, that this game seems to be poorly optimized everywhere. I mean, people are talking about problems hitting 60 frames on the Series X in some places, but they were like, there's 5 different modes on the Series X and the PlayStation 5, and it can't hit 60 on the Xbox Series S, which is a next generation console. I know it's a cheap version, but it's still a next generation, and they can't get 60 frames there. So it sounds like that if you went and you sprung for the Xbox Series S, according to what I've heard, if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. But it seems like that the Stadia version is performing better than the Xbox Series S, and that's impressive in many ways. And especially, and I don't know, Smock, it would be great for Stadia and for the fan base for us to know which games are part of the low change porting. Is this another low change porting game? Because if this was a low change porting game and Deep Silver really didn't have time to really tweak it or whatever because of commitments elsewhere, then that's a very promising sign. Nonetheless, unfortunately, and I don't want to be too dramatic here, but for me, unfortunately, when I started the game, and shout out to Mark Woodall. Mark Woodall, check him out. He did a fantastic analysis of the game. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I was on the fence because I'm like, do I want to get this for PC or do I want to get it for Stadia? Because if it wasn't at 60 frames per second on Stadia, I wasn't going to get it, right?
Performance mode.
Yeah, if they didn't have a performance mode, I wasn't going to get it. And then Mark did an analysis of the beginning, to be fair. And when he did his analysis, it had showed, and again, the disclaimer from Mark Woodall, he told me, is that it's really hard to nail the resolution when it comes to testing. He says, what Original Penguin does, he prefers that method. But when he was doing his testing, the results were showing that for the performance mode, it was hitting 1440p, dipping down to 1200 and between 1440p for majority of the time. And then sometimes it would hit 1080p. Perfect for me. I love that. Perfect. I'll take that. And when I play, and that's what made me say, okay, I'm definitely getting this game near. Played it, had the same results until I got to the middle point of the beginning. And then it switched to like resolution when I noticed it, and you can hear it in my member video. It switched to 30 frames per second and I couldn't get out of there. And when I got to the open, land, that's when I was like, holy cow, this is completely different when I play. So I don't know if the resolution is just better at the beginning because it's closed off, or they were tweaking something. They had it at a higher performing thing, and it was, things were starting to go haywire behind the scenes, and they had to change it. So I will say this, with the caveat that it's not optimized everywhere from what I'm seeing.
Not optimized anywhere.
Yeah, it's not optimized
anywhere.
anywhere.
PC looks the best on PC, but it's even PC has bugs. Like the YouTuber that I'm watching play through the game, he finished it. But and I didn't watch all of the videos that he did, but one of the bugs that he pointed out was when he cleared off the HUD so he could take a screenshot for a thumbnail for a video. And he took his bullets and everything off the HUD so you could just see the character and the background and the scene. But after he did that, after he took the picture and he turned his HUD back on, his HUD was still gone. It didn't come back. So that was a bug that happened, So he spoke about it in the video. He said he didn't know what's going on, but it's just a random bug that the game has, So it's a whole bunch of different reports out there for different bugs, and it's all random. Like it's nothing. Not everybody's having the same bug. Everybody has a different type of bug in this game. It's weird.
So it's like it's situational. It sounds like, and because I haven't run into any.
The biggest one for me though, biggest one for me that's unfortunate is the audio for the vehicles. They're not there at all. The vehicles sound terrible in the game. Wow. That's one thing. Like next time you play the game, look at a cutscene, how the vehicles sound, and then look how the vehicles sound when you're driving it. It's
Jesus Christ.
It sounds bad. That to me, that's the worst thing. Like even more than the visuals. Like right now, the visuals aren't bad all the time. Like my visuals are good, and since I'm on Wi-Fi, the quality dips sometimes. But when I'm watching it back on stream, the visuals look fine. It just sounds the cars and the vehicles just sound bad.
Yeah.
I can't see because Ubisoft open world games is way better. They blow this one out the water. Yeah. Ubisoft has the best open world games. It's just this studio. They just didn't put in the time to actually complete and finish and deliver a finished product. They finished. Yeah, they put out an almost done product. Like the game is still super buggy. Because all they had to do was play back the game that they made, and they would have seen these bugs. Like the most obvious one, and this, I'm having fun playing the game, right? But since we're talking about it, we're talking about it. The biggest one is like they should know. All you got to do is play the game, go through a cutscene on a game that has a vehicle involved, and then drive the cars, and there's like. The car is barely it sounds like a bootleg video. Like it sounds bad, like the cars don't sound good at all, and then random glitches when you close the door, when you get into your car and your character is standing up in the car and he's like going through the roof and little stuff like that. It's like, bro, these bugs is obvious. These are obvious bugs that should have been
addressed.
Addressed before the game launched everywhere,
Wow.
Like the reviews are harsh, but I see why people are upset. Like, $60 for an incomplete game. People are getting tired of doing that.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst game out. This game did worse than Outriders. Outriders was way worse than this.
Yeah. Outriders was completely unacceptable though. That was completely unacceptable.
Yeah,
and I can say
how this.
Go ahead.
No, you can go. You can go.
No, I was gonna say at least with this game, like as bad as Outriders was everywhere, it was horrible on Stadia. Like they just completely abandoned Stadia. To where at least with this game, there are some things that you can nitpick about in regards to the performance mode on the Stadia version, but it doesn't sound like the Stadia got the short end of the stick. It's all like it's the Xbox Series S. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be miffed if I paid $300 for a next generation console. I was given all these promises that, yeah, you know, I mean, maybe you can't get it at 4K, but you can at least get next generation performance at 1080p. Or no, they said 1440p. Remember that? You can get next generation performance at 1440p, and here at even at 1080p, I can only get 30 frames per second. Again, if that's true, I'd be miffed. And I paid $300 for that. Oh, I'd be pissed. So it just sounds like that the game's poor optimization is on par where else. I would say this though, Smock, that I think the game, even with all that, could have still been better on Stadia had only one thing happened. And we'll use this as a segue into our next subject, which is Dying Light 2. I think it's time, folks.
Oh, you're saying Dying Light 2. You meant to say Dead Island?
Dead Island 2, yeah. Why the Jesus Christ? Thank you for catching that. This is a perfect segue into Dead Island 2. I got to remember that. I got to train myself mentally to do that. I think it's time, folks. Not the case here. I think that the team at Deep Silver really did as good of a job trying to get the port to a comparable level to where it was everywhere else, the best way that they could. But where you have scenarios like Outriders or Ark or whatever other or any of the actual piss poor ports, Stadia, I think, is still, we've already heard it from I believe it's Red Dawn, the group that helped Massive port Division 2 over to Stadia, and why that's so fantastic. Stadia is powerful. We've heard it from the other devs. Stadia is powerful. I know there's certain limitations in some certain regards, but Stadia is powerful. Powerful enough to where even the Denia engine now that was known to give the platform problems, we're now getting performance where, hell, the newer version of Denia, we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is a huge game, at 1440p 60. And we got, now I know it's an older game, but still, we got Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon at, I think what is like above 1200p, and it's like 45 frames per second or something like that. Shout out to Original Penguin for catching that weird frames per second. I didn't know. I thought I was playing it at 60, you know, 60 with dips. So I think it's time, Smock, because we're getting Dead Island 2 in February. And we don't know what the state of that game is going to be, but it's a gory game and people want to see the gore. They want it to look like gore to a degree. They don't want it to look like ketchup and Kool-Aid. So I think it's time that until the low change porting gets to where we want it to be at, and then developers are willing to put the manual effort in to tweak these games, like some of the best ports that we've seen. I know I keep saying this, I think it's time for Stadia to ease off slightly on those restrictions that, you know, that they have as far as what performance and stuff got to be.
I don't know if they should do that.
Well, hear me out.
We might.
Hear me out. And allow a balance mode. Now, this what do I mean by balance mode? You still have your same restrictions for 4K 30. You still have your same restrictions for 1080p 60. But for those of us that want a little bit more of a balance, hence what we got with Far Cry Blood Dragon and Far Cry Primal, I think those performance modes look good. Allow there to be a 1200p or 1440p 50 frames per second mode. We've seen this on other platforms before. So if they allow a balance mode, You could still have your regulations again for the 60 frames per second, for the 30 frames per second. But for those of us that want, good frames, but don't want to look at a bowl of oatmeal, I think we would be served with a balance mode. So that's what I'm saying in totality. Smock, I'm gonna turn it over to you. What are your thoughts on that?
So I'm not an expert in this field, of what Google's restrictions are, but easing up on industry standard to allow a balance mode is gonna, I think, give devs more room to be lazy, because if they can't hit 4K 30 and 1080 60, if they can barely hit that while porting games over, that's not Stadia. That's not, you can't like they're already lowballing. A lot of devs are already lowballing Stadia with their ports. So giving them a third option may seem like it's better, but I don't know how many devs will actually do it if they're still having trouble. If they're having trouble with 1080 60, keeping that stable, like they might have even more trouble trying to get 1440 to be stable. If they're still having trouble with 1080 60, because because we have games like Saints Row, like The Crew, that has 1080 60, but the textures aren't even that good. Like the textures in the game aren't like the resolution wise is 1080, but 1080 is old,
Yeah.
They're still having trouble keeping a decent 1080 picture, a 1080 gameplay.
Yep.
So it's, I don't know, it's, if anything, if Stadia wants to, if we want to do and make performance mode like more of a balance mode, and just got the whole performance mode in all together, and just have devs either put the games on 1440 and higher, and just and if they have 1080 60, you need to be able to hit 1440 60 as well, because 1440 pictures, that's almost like, that's ending up like 1080 sometimes. Like a lot of games that run 1440 don't look a whole lot better than what 1080 does. My opinion. That's my opinion. A lot of people can disagree with that, but all because from what I see from the games that I played, 1440, all that's doing is boosting the textures and making all that, like all the details in the background look better, while boosting. Of course, the main picture looks better too, but that's just making it look like a little bit better than what it is, So, in my opinion, Google, if anything, needs to be more strict with these devs so they can stop getting bad ports. Like, the only way, Google to get bad ports is to really Google has to put their foot down. It doesn't matter how big or small Google is. They're like, right now, in my opinion, they're like basically the top dog in cloud gaming, So they need to like wear that with some type of pride and be a little bit tougher with these devs and stop allowing devs to lowballing with these ports, So because a lot of these games right now is unacceptable, and how a lot of these games are shaping onto the platform is unacceptable to me.
So
be 100% honest.
So if you got a scenario. Let me throw this scenario at you and get your thoughts on it. So you have a situation where Embracer Group or Deep Silver approaches you and they say, look, we're willing to give you 2 games. We're willing to give you Saints Row, and we're willing to give you Dead Island 2. We're familiar with your certification process and all this. And they're like, okay, great. So you make the announcements come out. You let people know that those 2 games are coming. So we're getting to crunch time right before release, and the game is going to go gold. And so I'm a rep. I imagine that each game has a rep at Stadia that they got to deal with. So I'm the rep. I'm looking at the port, and I see what I saw. with the performance mode, and I'm like, can you guys do any better? And they're like, look, this is all that we have time for. This is the best that we can do under your certification process. You want us to hit 60 frames per second? We got to do it at 1080p. And this is the best that we can do.
Sad.
What do you if you go to the developer and you say, look, we know our platform is powerful and we know you can do better. You got to do better. And the developer says, this, take it or leave it. What's your response if they say take it or leave it?
I'll tell them, listen, if you need help, I can send over some reps to help you make this game better.
We don't want your help.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
We don't want your help. We're developed. We gotta get to ship this for Xbox Series X. You take what we're giving you, or you leave it.
Listen, 80p has been around for a long time. 1440p has been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. None of these resolutions are new resolutions. Mm-hmm. The game is 7 hours? Mm-hmm. Was 8 hours long for your main game? There's no reason why these devs can't hit 1440p 60. Mm-hmm. There's no reason. I don't care how big or small the dev is. Mm-hmm. If they can do a simple task that they do on a day-to-day basis, hit 1440p 60 at least, they don't need to be on the platform. They need to get their stuff, go home, give me my money back so I could get a better game. Go get a better game to come to the platform. Somebody that takes a little bit more pride in their work. Listen, when it comes to me and business, I'm not will make an announcement and say, listen, unfortunately, things didn't work out with this devs. Guys can do an AMA or whatever, ask me anything, and I'll answer honestly. If people ask me why, I would tell them why. It couldn't hit 1440/60 consistently.
So
this isn't new technology, bro. This technology has been here for at least 10 years. But 1440p isn't new.
But guess what happens then? 60% of your catalog is then gone, including a lot of AAAs. So how viable?
If people get butthurt over that, then hey. Oh no.
What does that do to the viability of your product? You're no longer, if 60% of your catalog is gone, including AAAs, and that includes Ubisoft, because Ubisoft doesn't always do a great job either. That includes, I would say, most of the Ubisoft games could be a lot better, and they told on themselves twice. First with Division 2, and then the second time with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So guess what happens? Most of your Ubisoft games aren't coming anymore. What then? What you do then?
Like I said, these devs need to have a little bit more pride. I may have a small catalog, but there'll be games worth playing. Because at some point, listen. If I'm going to run a business, I do not want mediocre products. At least if it's a bad game, there's nothing I can do about that. But at least let the game run at industry standard. Yeah. I don't know why the industry standard is still 1080/60. I don't know why that's the standard for performance mode. But in a world where we have 8K, in a world where 4K is becoming older and more affordable, in a world where 1080 is barely considered HD, it's like, bro, we have to do better. The devs have to do better. Like all this stuff, like as much as people want to blame Stadia, like, oh, Stadia's getting bad games, it's like, bro, this is the devs for not taking pride in their products. If I was a developer, there ain't no way I would be fine with just releasing a game that can barely run 1080/60 across all of my platforms. There's no way I'm doing that.
But who's ultimately responsible for that? It's the publishers. The reason why the state of development is so bad is that the publishers have made it a conveyor belt convention, meaning, look, we need all these resources. We want to make these AAA games. They don't give developers enough time to develop and flush these things out and bring the bugs. That's why there's these huge day one patches, and it's just rinse and repeat. And what we do is we go after the developers and we don't go after the publishers. It's the publishers that created this dynamic. Like, for instance, industry veterans that were at BioShock and all these other places, they're gone. They left. They said developing with these under these big publishers, it's just a pain. It's too much to bear with. People that have been developing games their entire life have left. I don't know, to deliver pizza, to grind coffee, whatever. So I think there's that complexity. But then there's a complexity of the platform. The reason why I broke that scenario down to you like that is because that's the same exact thing that the Xbox One X went through. If you remember, the biggest and baddest thing on paper, and it's gonna, the console is eating monsters. Now, a lot of that was fluff. Don't get me wrong, a lot of that was fluff. But there were a lot of things that the Xbox One X were capable of that developers just weren't doing. They weren't maximizing the platform. And hence, it was the worst selling console last generation. It was horrible. And it didn't even achieve its promise until Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. So it's all about these publishers and where they're going to utilize their time and their focus. And unfortunately, I agree with everything that you said, that they should be doing it. But I think the reason why Stadia is not out there slamming doors in people's faces is because when you look at their biggest partnership, which is with Ubisoft, they're not even doing it. So it's like, damn.
It's a shame. It's a shame. You know, we need more companies like Game Science, Black Myth Wukong. We need more companies like that. As bad as people want a release date for this game, they are not giving us one. Yeah. The latest release, they don't have no dates. Yeah. They have no dates, and I don't even think they have the consoles listed yet. We know who they are because they said it, you know. But in the trailers, they're not giving us no dates. They're not listing no consoles at the bottom. The game is still in pre-alpha. Game is still in pre-alpha, and they're not giving nobody no release dates. We need more companies like that, because that company, we know when they deliver that product, when they deliver that game, it's going to run like it's supposed to. It's going to look and perform. Yeah. So another one is Section 8. Like, you know what? I think what's going to happen, and just, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but real quick, I think what's going to end up happening, Smock, and I'm happy for this. I think Western development, like once it took over, it created that Western conglomerate conveyor belt way of doing things, and that's why games are so buggy now. I think when the Asian markets start to dominate again, they're going to take more care to their games. Not to say that Asian games aren't buggy, but I don't see them doing a lot of this crap that you've seen with these Western games. And I prefer Western games, but I'm starting to see like Asian games like Section 8, that's made by a Korean developer, Lies of P, another Korean developer, and then now this Black Wukong, which is Chinese developer. I think you're going to start seeing the Asian renaissance and them completely take over development again, and they don't succumb to their gamers like how Western developers do. You know, we're cursing them out, sending them genital pics and stuff like that. They ain't going to tolerate that stuff over there. They're going to be like, it's like you said, it's coming when it comes. Just enjoy these videos. Just know you're getting quality product. You know what I mean? I'm going to lie. Japanese, and they already have some of the best TV shows.
Oh yeah,
some of the biggest. They have anime. That's going crazy out here. You know, now the same thing's gonna happen with the games. I've never played it, but the Yakuza, the Mafia. I mean, not the Mafia, but the Yakuza games, and you know, all those games. You know, those games are super huge. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if now they're taking over the gaming scene too, because they're the ones that's actually taking the time. You know, instead of just like you said, let the publishers rush them into releasing an unfinished product.
Yep.
Like it's crazy because they're still doing this, even though fans say that they don't mind waiting, and they're still trying to push out buggy games. You know,
well,
or
you and
games
I,
that
you and I, the sensible ones, say we don't mind waiting, but then there's the jackass that why Bungie ain't talking to y'all no more, right? They're not talking to you, the sensible guy, because the jackass went and threatened the lives and said that he was gonna put rice in their pizza and all this. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. All that harassment that the Bungie devs is going after recently. Yeah, that's sad, man. Yeah. Speaking of Bungie, they just released a new update. You know, they released a new season that came out on Tuesday. Unfortunately, I was busy, so I wasn't able to play it. I was hanging with family, but I did play it on Wednesday. And I played about an hour of it, which is sad because that's me. You know, that's still my favorite game. But they released their stuff right now. The raid race, the world's first. The raid race to see who's the world first to beat the new raid is going on right now. It's going to be going on all day until tomorrow 10 a.m. Then they'll announce the winner. You know, so listen. That right now, if you go on Twitch, Destiny, I think, has the second or third most views on Twitch as a whole.
Yeah, they're killing it.
The game is going crazy. That game is going crazy, you know?
So let me ask you, Smock, Dying Light 2, are you excited that game is coming to Stadia? Jesus Christ. Dead Island 2.
Honestly, I don't know anything. I honestly don't know much about
the Dead Island series.
Yeah. So I haven't played the first one. I don't know.
Phenomenal game. Phenomenal.
I'll check it out when it comes. You know, I'll buy it and I'll see what it's about. I'll check it out when it comes out. You know, but again, I don't know anything about it. You know, I don't even think I seen a trailer for this game.
Yeah, check out if you can. I don't know if if your PC should be powerful enough to play it. Go get Dying Light. The first one, you'll enjoy it. You'll like it. I love
Dead Island.
Jesus Christ, Dead Island. Dying Light is a great game too. That's Techland's fault for making.
Dying Light is really good. It's a really
Dying
good
Light
game.
one is good
Both
too.
of them.
Yep. Yeah, but you'll like Dead Island. I loved it. So yeah, I'm happy that it's coming to the. But that's why I threw out that whole that midway thing, because I want to see the gore, and I'm with you 100%. The devs, with permission of the publishers, can do better. They're not. So hopefully we find some middle ground or whatever.
Man. Like it sucks. Like, understand you want to get the game out there, but take pride.
It's all about money to them.
Like, I'm pretty sure they do have a level of pride, like the developers, but they know they're releasing these half-baked games that super buggy, you know, that the textures aren't there, like the textures are fading out, you know,
Yep.
You know, like random stuff that's happening throughout the game, you know, like they know, and this shouldn't be happening. Even like, man, I don't want to talk about Assassin's Creed, but yeah.
That's not even there.
Yeah.
When's that article coming out, Smock? We waiting on that article, bro, for PNTS Network. You sit there land-based it. But yeah.
I'll have it done by Saturday. How about that? I'll release it tomorrow.
No, I'm just messing with you, bro. I just want to see you go off on. I want to see you go off on about. I love it. No, I'm excited for Dead Island. Yeah, I said it right. Dead Island 2. I'm glad it's coming to the platform, and that's a great relationship, them and Deep Silver, man. Because Deep Silver has some fairly decent games in their catalog. You know what I mean? So it's great to have them on board as well. That's cool. All right, I guess we can switch to the cloud news real quick. You know how we do. Let me show you something. All right, PS5 first up.
GeForce.
Yeah, GeForce, man. 20 million users. So the last time we heard they were at 15, I think that was almost a year ago. They've gotten 5 million users. Does this surprise you at all?
This is not surprising because they have been making some big moves. Like they got got God of War for a little bit. They didn't get Spider-Man, right? They didn't get Spider-Man.
They didn't get Spider-Man. No.
They didn't get Spider-Man, but they did get God of War. And like I said, that's a big game. Even though they only had it for like, what, 2 weeks? A couple weeks?
Yeah, or a month.
No?
Yeah, I mean,
Was it a month? Was it a month?
It was about a month, I think. A month and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
You had a month and a half to claim it. And once, if you bought it and claimed it, you could access it through GeForce Now.
I'm pretty sure a large amount of that was due to God of War. They've been working on them.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It'll probably be more if there's marketing to the right crowd.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised when they had God of War. I'm not surprised about that.
Yep.
And then you could play Fortnite on there too. So Fortnite also had a huge update. Like Fortnite, oh my god, those people are killing it.
Absolutely.
With these crossovers, these updates, getting Dragon Ball Z characters. They got Beerus and Goku and Ultra Instinct Goku.
I
and
saw
Vegeta.
where they're getting Destiny characters too. Did you see that?
Yeah, they just did that. They just did that this week.
It's
when
crazy.
Destiny 2 did the little update. They had
That's wild.
Fortnite. We have Fortnite skins in Destiny. And and Fortnite has like 3 Destiny skins now.
That's wild.
So yeah, man. Fortnite, their marketing team is that. I bet you that's a lot of reason. That's a big reason why a lot of people are playing GeForce is to play Fortnite.
Yeah. No, that they're doing well as far as getting new users. I think the biggest thing still we saw the not to make comparisons to say who's better than the other. It's all depends on your preference. If you like GFN, that's great. It's just I think to get the full picture here, as great as this is, to get the full picture, just so people aren't saying, oh, there's 20 million that we know about with GFN. We don't know nothing about Stadia, so GFN must be destroying Stadia. Well, there was a Statista graph not too long ago that was out, or information based on Statista data, where GFN subscriptions were at like 19% of subscriptions in the US, and Stadia was at 18%, right? So they were right behind them in subscriptions. And then if you take into consideration that with Stadia, there's a la carte purchases and DLC and microtransactions that GFN isn't even getting, then it kind of helps show you that, the top tier platforms, Stadia, GFN, and now I believe xCloud, as far as utilization is concerned, they're all in comfortable spaces. So this is good news for GFN that they're continuing to grow their exposure to more and more gamers. I'm just with Smog. I just feel like that instead of 20 million, it could be 30 million right now if they change their. I've started seeing some of the change since the last time we brought this up. But if they would have done it earlier, it could be 30 million now if they would have changed their focus to disenfranchised PC gamers. So,
right.
But cool stuff all along. All right, next up, this is a very comical one for me, Smock. PlayStation blog puts out that the PlayStation 5 price to increase in select markets due to global environment, including high inflation rates. I'm going to give my opinion first because I wrote it down in our notes. People are saying that this is going to increase utilization in the cloud. And I have a very unpopular answer. As someone who plays mostly in the cloud, no, it's not. And you can see that in Xbox's response to all this. They made no mention, the people that could benefit mostly from this, they made no mention of the cloud. They authorized all the rollback in prices and promotion and stuff like that on the Series S and stuck solely to the console red meat. That right there shows you the temperature mainstream has for cloud gaming. That even Xbox recognizes this. This is something that could benefit console gamers. It's not going to push people to the cloud. Here goes the super ultra unpopular part, and then we'll get Smock's thoughts on this. Personally, I don't think the price hike is that big of a deal beyond Twitter. Yeah, here I said it. What are your thoughts?
how big of a price hike are we? I mean, how big of a price increase are we talking about?
It depends.
Are you talking about like the console itself?
The console itself.
Like to buy.
Yeah, it's like it ranges from anywhere $20. I think at the highest is $50, depending upon where you're at.
You mean like the increase? Okay. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. Not gonna be that big of a deal. To me, I don't think so. I don't think it has anything to do with the cloud. This is just something. This is a totally separate situation that consoles are going through because all this hardware that they have. But I don't think it's gonna push people to, because if you're going to buy a PS5, you're not thinking about like playing something in the cloud. So,
my bad, Smart. Give me one moment. Can you continue to elaborate on that? I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah, like for example, like when I went out and bought my PS5, I wasn't thinking about Stadia. I was thinking about, man, I want to play these games. I'm trying to play Spider-Man, and I'm trying to play Wolverine, or little things like that. Even though Wolverine's not out yet, but that's why I got it. You feel me? For the games that's in the future. The same thing with this. If gamers are coming to go buy a PS5 or Xbox, they're not thinking about that cloud. This is like two separate groups of gamers. But yeah, I don't think that is gonna.
Sorry about that.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if the cloud gaming is gonna go up because of this. I don't know. I don't think it will. No. It may a little bit. No, but those are probably people that are already interested in
exactly. It might just push them over and make them do it a little sooner. Yeah, it might just make them do it a little sooner. Like, I was really contemplating just trying this cloud stuff out now. I'm really going to do it now. But I don't think it's not going to cause a mad. And again, I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm being a realist. Look, man, I love Stadia. I love cloud gaming. I love what it presents. And there's so much that it offers. And it offers so much right now. It's my preferred way to play. But even Jack Buser said this himself. There's just a level of quality that, in particular, that a PlayStation 5 presents. People are willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
They're willing to pay for it.
PlayStation fans are like Apple fans. Once you're locked in,
thank you. Yeah.
There's no other option.
Yeah. Yeah, there is no other option.
PlayStation knows, Sony knows how to keep their crowd. They know. No, they're like I can't even remember the last time PlayStation has released a bad game. Like, they're one of the only Sony. See, and this isn't me being a fanboy. This is like, honestly, anybody in chat, anybody that's listening to this. When was the last time Sony actually released a bad exclusive? Mm-hmm. How many years has it been? How many decades has it been since they released a bad game? Like, they have it. This is why their fans love Sony so much. This is why people love Sony. They don't release bad games. They don't miss. Like, if there was a picture of a company that's actually him, it will probably be Sony. Sony might actually be him. Like, seriously, Sony don't miss. They don't.
Yeah. It's the overarching or overreaching optimism. I get it. We want people over on the cloud side bad, because the more people that come over here, the more things that are going to be done to meet the demand. But we're just early. We're early for something that's going to take a while to roll itself out. It's growing. It's going to roll itself out. It's just going to take a while. And
Google's going to get there. Google's going to get there. Once everything smooths out, once Google has everything, all the kinks ironed out, they're going to get there. I would love to see Google bring back first-party games. I hope they do it one day. Because I would love to see them at the level of a Sony. Yeah, I would love to see that. Because while Xbox has a big group of people on the games, I don't know if all those people are as loyal as the fans of Sony are as loyal to the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I think it'll be easier to sway somebody on Xbox than it would be to sway somebody that's on Sony, in my opinion.
And I'll tell you this, that when it comes to the cloud, like PlayStation people, when I'm playing at Stadia, particularly when it comes to Stadia, when I'm playing a Stadia game and a PlayStation person comes on, we got somebody that's part of the Old Dirty Blasters, who's a PlayStation guy, but he happens to have a PC copy, and he said he'll join us and do crossplay with us. And now he's part of the Old Dirty Blasters. We were just playing with him a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
He said, "What is you playing this on? What console?" I'm like, "This isn't a console. This is Stadia." He's like, "Stadia?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So he started hanging around a couple of weeks, and then finally he said, y'all don't play on PlayStation at all?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm sorry, bro. We playing on Stadia, and we can do crossplay with PC though." And he's like, "Oh, well, I do have a PC character," and he started joining us. I get that normally. Like most of the people that honestly, the behind the scenes that come to me and say good things about Stadia offline, most of them are PlayStation people, because PlayStation gamers are confident in what they're getting from Sony, so they don't feel threatened. They don't feel like they got to crap on Stadia. There's something different with my Xbox brethren though. My Xbox gamers, when in the same scenario, when they come through, "Oh, what are you playing on?" "I'm playing on Stadia." They automatically leave. They leave, don't say nothing. It's like we're their mortal enemies.
You know what? That's true. I have an example too.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. I was playing PUBG. I was doing squads.
Yep.
And I was grouped up with these random people from Xbox, and they was like, they was like, "Oh, what are you playing on?" So, "Oh yeah, I'm playing on Stadia." They was like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, I am." Like, no matter what I said, they didn't believe me. They're like, "There's no way you're playing on Stadia." I'm like, "Bro, I'm playing on Stadia." Like, they just wouldn't believe me. Like, they refused to believe that I was on Stadia.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang, okay.
Yep. And I've played with or played on PC, Luna, GFN, all types of stuff. And other gamers will not battle at, like I remember when I first started playing Division 2 and it was cross-play with PC. And the PC people were like, "Oh, how are you? You're playing this through Stadia." Like they never heard of Stadia. And we explained it to them and they was like, "Oh, that's cool, man." You know what I'm saying? And we just played together, you know. Xbox. Jesus Christ, I hate to say it. Okay, so the PlayStation fan base rallies behind PlayStation and what PlayStation offers. That's what gets them excited. That's why at any given moment, they'll tear down Jim Ryan and say all types of crazy stuff to Jim Ryan, because if they feel like if it goes against what PlayStation should stand for, you know, what they feel like it should stand for, then they'll go against anybody. But they cherish what PlayStation offers. I feel that fandom for Xbox, they cherish what Phil Spencer says, not necessarily what Xbox offers. And they're working more towards to defend Phil Spencer and whatever he says should go. And
right.
And I feel that way because Xbox says that cloud gaming, they're the ones that, before we heard about Stadia saying anything publicly, they're the ones with Kareem Chaudhry that made these big, bold statements about what cloud was going to do for us, right? Cloud gaming. And then we see what we're getting with, you know, as far as performance is concerned, at least with Xbox, all right? Then they were leading the charge. Then you hear them say things like, well, it's only good for playing games when you're away from your console, and it's or when you're downloading a game, right? And I think the fandom accepted that. That's why when we say, where's your gameplay, or how come, you know, this is so inconsistent? Oh, well, now it's only good for, you know. And Phil Spencer spoke out so staunchly against Amazon and Google and particularly Google, that I think my Xbox brethren and sisterin think that they got to suit up arms and battle us on a war field, on the battlefield. It's crazy. I've lost friends. I've literally lost friends who play on Xbox because of Stadia. I've lost no PlayStation friends. No PlayStation friends. I've lost Xbox friends who play on Xbox. It's crazy. And I've said negative things about Xbox and PlayStation. And I've just had the PlayStation people just come and battle me about it. We go back and forth. We go about our business. The Xbox people, I don't know. I don't get it. But if I'm an Xbox fan, I want to know more about Stadia, because then I'm going back to Xbox and I'm saying I may not be, riding the ship for their product, but the things that their product is doing, I think you should be doing by now. You know what I'm saying? To make the product better, not just rallying behind Phil Spencer. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. It should be rallied, but I mean, like, I don't know. I guess it's hard to get into the mind of somebody of an Xbox fan. Like I haven't played Xbox in over a decade, I think.
Wow.
But it's people, man. People are different. That's all.
They are.
Like. Guess this all goes back to the same point that we was making earlier. Like people like to follow people. A lot of people, it's hard for a lot of people to think for themselves. And this is like another case of people having the herd mentality that's lacking individuality, that rather like they trust what Phil Spencer says so much, even if he doesn't live up to what he says or follow through with what he says, people still follow him, So that's a big difference, in somebody that believes in his product versus somebody that believes that lets you know who actually believes in the product that they're playing. If you believe in the product or the person. A lot of people just believe in the person.
Yeah. I mean, I would
that's not me though.
If I was still an Xbox fan and Phil Spencer said to me, I'm most worried about Amazon and Facebook or Google, I'm laughing at him. I'm still, even if I'm a fan, I may say, Phil, I may like some of the things that you did, but Phil, you're full of BS. This is the same company that sold a console at a 60% failure rate just so they can get ahead of PlayStation. And the 360 is my favorite console of all times, but come on now, we got to keep it real here. Like, Phil, you're full of crap. This is also the same company that for 7 years told its player base year after year, this year is going to be better than last year. Phil did that. Now, you may not attribute Phil to the 360, but you can attribute Phil to this. And, the exclusive counts that Xbox fans have been, hammering for, you haven't really seen. So you're not to be trusted more than Google or Amazon. It is not to say, and I'm not going to say Xbox is worse. I'm just going to say, who are you to make it seem like that you're to be more trusted? You have more of a history and a lineage here. And as far as trust is concerned with output and what you can do, yes, that. But as far as moral trust, please, like, cut the crap, so.
Yeah.
But no, I believe in what's being offered, and
exactly.
Don't let, if any of my Xbox brethren are listening, don't let Phil scare you into not even wanting to look into Amazon or Google. I think part of that is because Amazon and Google as a product performance wise is better than Xbox. They're where Xbox should be, and he doesn't want you to see that. You know what I'm saying? He wants to keep you away from it. No, don't go down there Don't go down to the neighbor's house. No, don't go eat dinner with them. That's because I'm doing nothing but serving you fish sticks every day, frozen fish sticks, while I go out and drink and gamble. So I don't want you to go down to the neighbor's house and see a full course meal, meatloaf and mashed potatoes and green beans and all that other stuff. I just want you to be localized to me giving you these frozen fish sticks every day so I can run off with my money and do what I want to do. I think that's part of the reason why he tried to play this whole boogeyman role with Google and Amazon. He doesn't want Xbox gamers to see what's going on over there, for them to say, okay, I still have more faith in the Xbox product, but shouldn't you guys at least be doing this and be doing that and doing that? And unfortunately, he was successful in that mind game. So,
yeah.
Crazy stuff. All right. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say? Go ahead, Smock. I'm sorry.
I got an analogy, but I was just thinking. So it's kind of funny. Well, it's interesting actually, because I compare a lot of things to Apple, because Apple is so dominant in the US. Like, they're just a good example for a lot of things. So
yeah.
Right. So Sony fans are as loyal as Apple fans are to the iPhone, right? And Xbox fans are as loyal as Apple fans are to people who are the Tim Cook. You know?
Exactly. Yes.
They place where he says at such a high pedestal. Even though he's not telling the complete truth, even though he's not, everything what he's saying isn't true, kind of like what Tim Cook does. He doesn't, a lot of his stuff is super exaggerated.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So
that's a great analogy.
People, but that kind of proves my point as why I think that if Xbox fans were to actually try out something else, it will probably switch. It'll be easier to convince them than it would be to convince somebody that's on the Sony side, to try something else, because they're loyal to the person, not the product. So if you're able to show them a better product, they might leave. You feel me?
Yeah. I completely agree. I tell you, when I engage with the PlayStation people, they're confident. It's like, I don't know, say for instance, have you ever been in the mall and there's the people out there with the samples of food, right? Like, say you're dead square on where you're going to go. Like, I'm going to this, and there's like the little food courts in the mall, and what they do is they used to hand out food. I'm pretty sure they don't do it during the pandemic, but what they used to do is give you little samples and stuff like that. And you walk by and take the sample, eat it. That's good, and make a mental note of that and keep going, because you're going to Chick-fil-A or you're going to this, that, or the other. But the Xbox fan reminds me of someone who kind of knows where they want to go, but they're not confident in their overall enjoyment of that choice. But they feel like they made a promise that they got to quote unquote stick to. I promised that I would go here, I would take the kids here, so I don't want to be sidetracked, even though they're not confident about how much they'll enjoy it. So as the people are passing out food, they're like, well, no, I don't want to try it, because, if that orange chicken is too good, I might want to eat there. You know what I'm saying? It's like they avoid it at all costs because their confidence in what they originally aimed at is so fragile, or they feel like they made a promise, they made a blood oath. You know what I'm saying? And they got to stick to that blood oath. To where PlayStation people, they're just confident. They're like, okay, I'll play with you Stadia people, but I know I'm going back to PlayStation. You know what I mean?
Right,
there's no competition. You know what I mean? So I just find it odd, very odd. I'm gonna make a video on that. It's just very. But you gave me some great scenarios. I'm gonna shot you out. I'm gonna steal your stuff, Smock. So I'm gonna steal your stuff. So, but all right, last section last section, and we're gonna close this out.
No, you good. Yeah.
Game vibes, man. Game vibes. So this is the part of the show where we just ask some questions about the state of Stadia and what we like to see, what we're enjoying, what we want to see done better. So I'm Smock. Let me ask you first. What game are you enjoying the most now on Stadia?
Still The Crew 2. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I be having I be having a lot of fun with that game. You feel me? It's like because where I'm at right now, like I'm not trying. Like I said, like I was telling you earlier before we went live. I'm not at the point. Well, I'm not up to grinding. Day in and day out. To keep my light level up with Destiny. And try to keep up. I just want to, have some fun. You feel me? And right now, the Crew 2 is where I'm having most of my fun. Like it still poses a challenge because my weekly challenge is the live summit. Trying to get top 100 in a live summit. The weekly live summit. Like last week or the week before, I think it was last week. Not this week, but last week. So last week they did a new Red Panther RX-8. It's basically like a special edition version of the Mazda RX-8. Supered up car. It looks clean. It looks nice. But you gotta hit a certain score in order to get platinum. And they made that one tough. Like they're putting a bunch of events that not a lot of people like doing. But I grinded through it and I was able to get the car. I was having a lot of fun, and nothing beats just cruising around town, and then you got random people coming up to you trying to race. Like, bro, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like that's cool little interaction that happens all the time. Like I've made a lot of random friends like on there. People that just like to drive around and cruise and race. Racing around the city or whatever. Like I made friends doing that, and that's dope. Like, cause like it's nothing too serious. I just get to go drive around, cruise, put on some music, and chill out. And I even streamed it. Like I like streaming my life, going through my live summits. Yeah. So I was like, I got a little heated in there because like, man, I hate this stupid event. Like, bro, this is so dumb. You feel me? Like doing the same thing over because here's an example of one of those events. You gotta be pretty good at the game in order to get this done and get a good score. So there's an event called an escape. Basically what escape is, you gotta basically drive as far away and as fast as away from this area. If the area reaches you, the event, then basically you're done, you're finished. Wow. So you gotta drive pretty fast, right? So what their idea was they put the escape. There's one of the escapes is in this area that has a bunch of rocks and a bunch of mountains, right? So if you're just driving regularly and you do it regularly, you're not gonna get a good score. You're probably gonna get like maybe a couple 100 meters, and then since you're in the dirt, you can't like use the best car because you're gonna go slower than normal, and you can't use a rally car because they don't have a high enough top speed to stay a good distance away from the area, right? So basically what you got to do is, but when you get to the area, you got to turn into a plane. You got to drive in one direction. You got to turn around, go to where the event start, hurry up and swap from the air before you hit the ground to a car.
Oh my God.
To hit it going to like 250, 260 miles per hour. So you can jump and make it to the street or to the highway before you get caught. And then that's basically how you get a good score.
Oh,
it took me 2 hours. Wow. It took me 2 hours to do that one event. I think it took me almost 2 hours to do that one event. Bro, it is so hard. It's like, it is hard. It's basically the toughest event that I've done that week. But I was able to do it, and I was able to get a good car, and when the event was over, I won the RX-8. And now I got me a brand new car.
I didn't know that game was that in depth. That sounds. I gotta give that a try. I didn't know that the game was that in depth.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah. Trust me, there's some meta stuff that's going on with this game. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's dope.
Yep.
The game that I'm enjoying the most right now, at this moment, is believe it or not, it's Madden 21. I still haven't booted up 22. I'm just addicted to 21. I'm like in my 9th season or something like that. And it's addictive when you go year to year to year. You got to watch your salary cap, who's coming back, who isn't. And I haven't played Division 2 in about a little over a week since the last event. I know there's another event right now. I play Saints Row. I'm still like trying to figure out, am I going to play Division 2 today, or am I going to play Saints Row with the little bit of time that I got left? But Saints Row might win out. But I'm playing Madden every day again. So I love Madden. It's very easy, 25, 30 minutes. If you just want a game real quick, 25, 30 minutes, I just get in the game, just plop out some things, get back out, go about my business. So that's the game that I'm enjoying the most is Madden 21. What game has disappointed you the most recently, the most on Stadia?
I honestly don't have one this week. I don't have one. Can't say Destiny because I've only played for like an hour. I haven't touched Assassin's Creed since the day I was making the article, So I've just been playing what I enjoy. I haven't really been disappointed with anything yet.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say the game that disappointed me the most, and this could be fictitious, and please bear with me because I didn't check this as I should have, but I'm gonna say Grime. The reason why I'm saying Grime is Grime was one of those games to where Akapura Games, I really, love what they put out there. It's a fun game or whatever. But, I'm superficial. I wanted a 4K mode. And I know the 4K mode was promised a while back, and I hadn't seen it the last time I checked. And when I went to go see, I saw a recent update from them, and I've seen some commercials from them somewhere, and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot how dope Grime was. I said, let me fire it up. And I didn't fire it up, but then I went to go do some research to see if the 4K mode came yet. And from what I could see, it didn't even come yet. So I didn't even fire up. So again, if I'm wrong in the 4K mode, I haven't heard anything about it. But if I'm wrong in the 4K mode is there, I deeply apologize. But hopefully we can get that 4K mode, Akapura. I think we can do it. I think you can do it. I don't think that's that much of a demanding game. So that's the game that disappointed me the most recently. What recently announced game do you want to see come to the platform? Did you watch Gamescom at all?
I haven't. I've been busy.
Oh man!
I don't even know. I don't even know where. Can you watch it on YouTube, like a live stream of it on YouTube?
I'm gonna send you a link. You need to watch my reaction because when I found out that Dying Light, Jesus Christ, Dead Island 2 is coming. I went ballistic.
There's one game. There's one game that my favorite YouTuber reacted to. That it's an Asian game. It's an Asian game. I think it's an Asian game.
Okay.
He reacted to, and like the combat in that game looks crazy.
Oh wow.
Game's looking so good to be true. Yeah, I need that. Dang. Oh, it's not Sekiro. What the heck? Game is this?
You said it's an Asian game. You're not talking about Lies of P. Are you talking about Lies of P?
Oh, it said where winds meet, I think.
I think I saw that. I gotta check that out again. I think I did.
That's what it's called.
Okay. I think I saw that. Where winds meet, or I think I heard about that.
The game looks hella dope. The combat in that game, crazy.
Do this. Where winds meet.
It's right there. First one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This game is on a Dosage. It's on a Wukong level graphics. Not as smooth. There's some points that's choppy, but You know, it's probably in an early development state, but this one doesn't have a release date either. I don't think it has a release date either. But yeah, this game,
now, is this the game that's gonna be an Xbox exclusive, timed exclusive? No, this ain't the game.
No, this one's not exclusive. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did see this during the Gamescom opener. Yeah, this does look dope. This does look good, dope. Definitely. That's what I said, man. That Asian development, like before, I would be like, man, yeah, screw that. You know, all the development from the West is key, but it even comes down to cars, bruh. Like Asian.
I'm watching this. Watching this in 720 on Discord.
Yeah, I know.
It still looks good, bro. It still looks good.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah,
I'm watching it on your stream. That's you on 720. Yeah, it still looks good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be upgrading to Nitro. I am. I don't know. I got all these like free months for it. I don't even know what I'm playing around with. But yeah, this looks dope. I remember seeing this. Yeah, I think what it was is that a lot of the Western games, while the Asian games, while the Western Renaissance was happening in gaming, where they were all, you know, a lot of them were hack and slash outside of the RPGs, outside of the turn-based or strategy RPGs, and you know, gamers wanted something more. And now the Asian developers are now expanding the genres as far as action games that they're getting into. You're seeing their versions of Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, and it's a lot more polished, and they're changing the game now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, brother, this is dope. This is definitely dope. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah.
He helped out dude head to get on the roof.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at this combat. Yeah.
That's dope.
This, like people are saying, this is like as if Assassin's Creed meets Ghost of Tsushima. That's what, like, look at that, bro. That's like anime. That's anime right there.
It's dope. That's dope. I didn't even have that on my radar. Okay, so I'm gonna be looking out for that game. It's dope. Yeah, man. I like that. See, they're expanding the horizons. They're opening up the worlds a lot more, so it doesn't just feel like tight hack and slash. That's dope. I'm gonna tell you another game though. I'm gonna show you my game that I'm most anticipating. See if I can pull it up here. I don't know if you saw this game. You gotta watch that game. I'm gonna send you the link. There it goes. This looks so dope, and I thought this was Forsaken. But check this out. This looks real good, man. I thought this was Forsaken. Surprised me. I mean, a lot of the scenery and stuff kind of matches Forsaken a little bit, until I saw the game and I was like, hold on, this is something different. Holy cow. Who was I talking to? Somebody I was talking to, I think it was Lo-Fi. Shout out to Lo-Fi Monk. Oh, and for those of you that are listening to this, this upcoming Tuesday, you're going to get a hell of a show. I brought the boys back together, meaning me, Clive Linden, John Scar, hosted by Lo-Fi Monk. He's actually hosting the 100th episode of SSC Podcast, where we look at the state of Stadia in 2022. So nice. Definitely check that out, and it's gonna be it's a great show. It's a great.
Are you doing it on Tuesday now?
It's yeah, I'm doing that because we had to pre-record it because everybody's schedule was off. So we did it on Tuesday. We pre-recorded it, and the only time that I could feel like that I could get it where everybody could see it was on Tuesday. So it's gonna be Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look out for that show. But Yeah, I was talking to Lo-Fi Mark, and he said that he was watching Gamescom, and he said that they were really just finally starting to show games that utilize the newer capabilities, kind of like what you were talking about, Smock, of, look, it's time for us to get out of 1080p 60. Even 1440p and 1080p have been around forever. So it's time for us to get out of it.
It's so fresh. I mean, I don't want to get back into that, but yeah, man, I'll be happy the day all that happens.
Yeah,
I'll be happy. You know.
When I saw this, I said, "Hold on, this ain't Forsaken.
This is different.
This is something different." And then this is the CGI trailer, but there's actual gameplay that they show soon. So. Should be coming up soon. This is a long trailer.
I like the colors.
Yeah.
And the map is interesting too. Yep, it's 5 exclusive. It's coming out this year.
Oh, does it say it's exclusive? Oh man.
It is. I think. Well, based on the trailer, it looks like it's exclusive to PS5.
Man, that would suck. If it is an exclusive Stadia, you got to get that one. So, all right, man. I think that concludes today's show, man. It was a great show. Thank you, Smock, as always, for being present, man, and being patient.
No problem.
Let the good people know where they can find you at, brother.
Find me right here on YouTube, Smock Jr. Gaming. I'm doing a playthrough of Saints Row, so I will be going live randomly, either tonight or tomorrow night. I will be going live randomly to record my episode. You can either watch me live or watch one of the vlogs that I leave up. But yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube. You can find me on Twitter, Intro LA. You can find me on Instagram at Smock Jr.
Awesome. And you can find me, MM2K, on PNTS Network and StadiaDosage. And don't forget, we have a StadiaDosage out on Twitch. This is the StadiaDosage Plus, and then I gotta send you that link, Smock, where you get to see me going crazy over Dead Island 2 coming to the platform. So stay tuned, because at 4 o'clock, in a couple of minutes, y'all, if you are watching this via the members realm, my latest video where I rant about this crazy Amazon rumor and try to, for the last time in a while, tell my friends why they need to get off of Stadia's case. There's a use case for it, and if it's not theirs, then that's okay. They can go about their business. All right. So stay tuned. As soon as this video ends, it's going to automatically take you there. All right. With that said, I appreciate and love all of you. As always, don't forget to go check out the merch store too. Go check out the store tab. We got merchandise. StadiaDosage, MM2K. All right. Okay. Peace. Have a wonderful gaming day.
Peace.